Chrono Trigger, a game highly esteemed as one of the best of its kind. Now, I tend to be a bit cautious going into games with such outstanding reputations, but I gotta say, after playing the game, Chrono Trigger is well worthy of the accolades it receives. Ah, the classic 16-bit RPG. The nostalgia is seeping in already. But Chrono Trigger is more than just a classic RPG. It's a super RPG. And what makes it so super is the fact that Chrono Trigger is the byproduct of several masterminds in the gaming industry as they were aspiring to greatness. Sporting charming character design from the legendary Akira Toriyama, heartthrob-inducing tunes from the iconic Yasunori Mitsuda and Nobuo Uematsu, and a captivating story from none other than Masato Kato and Yuji Horii, Chrono Trigger excels on the fronts that many RPGs struggle to come to terms with. Even the concept for the game is quite profound. Yes, it is time travel based, as are many story-driven video games, but the extent to which Chrono Trigger delves into the intricacies of the flow of time really gets you thinking about how the actions of today affect the outcome of tomorrow, a theme that extends outside of the game. Hell, take this talking crosswalk. Who's responsible for it? What was the impetus behind its creation? These are the types of questions I ask myself after playing through the story in Chrono Trigger. And though a relic, and an obscure one at that, this crosswalk is a time marker and an indicator of the type of society we live in today.
Wait. Route 25A. Walk sign is on its box.
You told me to fucking go. Much like my hometown, which has all of these quirks and oddities like talking crosswalks, Chrono Trigger is replete with innovations. Whether it's the environments, the people, or items, the game is sure to keep you engaged throughout. So at one time, you might be flying on the backs of pterodactyls, and the next, scavenging the land in the remnants of a post-apocalyptic society. Now, I don't want to give away too much on the plot, but I will say that I've always wanted a talking frog named Leopold. What's that? I can only fit 6 characters in a name? Shit! I guess Leopard will have to do. But perhaps the area where Chrono Trigger distinguishes itself the most is in terms of the combat. It is in the vein of Final Fantasy, in that each character has to wait on a bar to charge up before they can attack. That bar correlates directly to your speed, so you might get in 2 attacks before an enemy gets in 1, or vice versa. Additionally, you can set the game to active time, so while you're still picking your attacks, the enemy is able to attack you while you pick. So for those who are not privy towards the nature of turn-based combat, Chrono Trigger on the DS might be your perfect entry point into the genre. While I'm on the topic of the Nintendo DS, let me talk about what makes the DS version of Chrono Trigger so worth playing. First off, the DS version released some 15 years after the original on the Super Nintendo, so many of the pixel qualities are actually updated and refined, not to mention that several animated sequences are spruced throughout the narrative, thus making the story that much more exciting and personable. Additionally, Chrono Trigger takes full advantage of the DS hardware capabilities, so you can toggle information on enemy units as well as your allies between the top and bottom screens, and use the stylus for movement and action. It's nice to see a game that takes advantage of the DS hardware, because many games didn't take advantage of the bottom screen at all. And finally, the handheld nature of the Nintendo DS makes playing through a bulky RPG a breeze. Now, it's hard to call Chrono Trigger bulky, seeing as my first playthrough took about 20 hours, but that accessibility definitely helped me see the game through. Now to close, I want to return back to the point about Chrono Trigger being the greatest RPG of all time. I don't know, that's like your opinion, man. But I will say that Chrono Trigger has a lot of the necessary makings for a contender for the title. Whether it was the challenging boss battles, the humorous and thought-provoking nature of the script, or the sheer nostalgic and memorable quality of the soundtrack, Chrono Trigger stands out to me as an outstanding experience and one of the best RPGs I can recommend.